With the previous beginner's guide for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, we had a look at my new favourite character in the game, the awesome Colossus. Now that video was dedicated to a huge Colossus fan I've known since days of Marvel Heroes Omega, Emilio. For this video we'll have a look at Cyclops, and it only feels right really that we dedicate this one to Flood31, the biggest Cyclops fan I've known, and once again a player from way back from Marvel Heroes Omega. So I hope, Flood, you enjoy this particular video, and I hope everyone else that is watching it enjoys it and finds it useful as well. Now in the video anyway, to give you an idea of how Cyclops plays, we start off with a quick overview. We'll have a look at his stats, we follow that up with a deep dive into his abilities. Next up we'll check out team bonuses. Following on from that we'll have a look at the synergy attacks. We'll then check out the build options available and the best ISO 8 to use on him. Following on from that we have the alternative costume and his Infinity Trial, and then we'll finish up with a quick summary. So we'll jump in and start off with the general overview. As you would expect with Cyclops, his abilities are all really based around his visor, with the exception of his light attack, where he actually goes in and does punches and kicks. So if you're an old Marvel Heroes Omega player and you want to run a Punchclops build, you do have an option there, but the option is pretty limited. Now for his abilities anyway, we can see we all have the energy tag here, so that really helps out when it comes to itemization. It makes it nice and easy, and it means you can really optimize his damage. Doesn't have any special traits, unfortunately. I would like to see maybe a leadership trait and some variety actually added to the game at some point, because it's something that Cyclops really feels that he should have. He is very well known as being a leader. Now when we look at his stats, they are very middle of the road here. His strength is a D, but that's not relevant to his abilities at all. Vitality is a C, mastery is a B, so that's great, that will boost his energy. Resilience is a C, durability is a D, and finally his energy is a B. So the two stats that really matter, doing damage and being able to do sustained damage, that comes from mastery and energy. He has got a B rating in both of these, so that is certainly very nice. Now that's the overview, let's have a look at his abilities. The first ability we have here is Optic Blast. Now this is the one I find myself using the most on Cyclops. It's a channeled skill, but it's a channeled skill with a difference. As you hold it down, you can actually move. You can move backwards and forwards and left and right, so it's really nice if a boss is coming at you. If you need to dodge an attack, you can simply hold down the channeled skill, move to the side, and then move back into place when you need to. Now with this, energy usage on it is exceptionally low. I was able to channel it for 41 seconds without any energy ISO, so it's a really nice skill, and as mentioned, it's one you will be using very often. The next ability we have here is one I don't use too often, but it can have its uses. So this is Triple Shot. You'll jump in the air, you fire a torrent of beams at the enemy, and when you jump you actually go backwards a fair distance. So with this, if you have an enemy running towards you, you can fire this off, get out of the way, and do a nice amount of damage as well. Now with this, it will actually launch enemies into the air, but it's just your standard minions. It doesn't work against bosses, and it doesn't work against elites. It would be a lot more useful if it did actually launch the elites as well, and it could be used as a form of crowd control almost, but as it is, as mentioned, it does have its uses, but I don't find myself using it too much. The next ability we have here is Eyes Wide Open. Now this particular one, you can either tap it or you can actually charge it up. It actually really does a decent amount of damage without any energy ISOs on him at all. I'm doing around about 27,000 when I'm tapping it, and I'm getting close to 45,000 with crits. So this can be a nice one to use if a boss is actually staggered or stunned, or if you're trying to get in some quick damage and you don't have the time to actually channel Optic Blast, then you can just tap this and then quickly roll out of the way. The final ability we have here is Ricochet Beam. Now this one is incredibly situational, so you fire a beam, and if there's walls within the particular area where you are, it will actually bounce off them. Now in a lot of locations, the way they're actually set up, there won't be walls for it to bounce off, and it doesn't unfortunately bounce off characters. So as mentioned, incredibly situational. In some instances you'll absolutely shred characters, and other instances you'll just do little to no damage with it. I actually like that aspect of this skill and his other skills in that they are situational, so it makes playing Cyclops feel tactical, and he's a character that I feel that if any character is one that can put out a lot of damage but you have to be tactical about doing it, then it should be Cyclops. But that's all his abilities. Let's now have a look at the team bonuses. When it comes to the team bonuses, we have a slight change in format at the moment. Usually we look at the top 10 team bonuses that's available via the spreadsheet that has a list of all. I think it's actually 58,000 of them that are in the game, but the spreadsheet isn't updated at the moment, so I've changed the format, and let me know in the comments below if you actually prefer this format or if you want me to go back to the old one when and if the spreadsheet's actually updated. But for the time being, what I'm doing is I've listed all the different teams that a character falls within. If there's any overlap with those characters and other teams, which means you actually gain more bonuses, then I'll highlight that and I'll put a number next to their name. So for Cyclops, you can see, for example, if you run him with Storm, Nightcrawler, Wolverine or Colossus, then that would actually overlap over 2 teams. That would be the X-Men and also the all-new X-Men team, which means you should get a decent amount of team bonuses from them. But for the next section, we'll now have a look at the synergies. For this synergy section, just before we jump in, once again thanks to Iwakitude on Reddit, who's actually updated the spreadsheet that I take these from. He's put in Cyclops and Colossus already, so hats off to him for that. But when we look at the synergy attacks available for Cyclops, we've got 3 options due to the free synergy traits, and it's Beam, Launch and Bash. The Beam one can give some really nice effects. In regards to the top 5 characters that he synergizes with, we have Star-Lord, Crystal, Wolverine, Storm and also Hawkeye. So Wolverine's a great one due to all the synergies and due to the fact he was mentioned in the team bonus section as well. The bottom 5, and this is characters you generally want to avoid if you're looking to do synergy attacks. Sadly, Nightcrawler is in there, but we then have Deadpool, Thanos, Spider-Man, and once again we have Scarlet Witch at the bottom of the list there. So that's the synergy attacks. Let's now have a look at the build options available. In regards to the build options available for Cyclops, really don't have a lot that you can go on here, but the build option he has suits him perfectly. So you would build him as a blaster class, nice and easy to do due to the fact that we have the energy tag on all of his abilities and it will also affect his heavy attack. Now if we look at the best ISO for optimising damage, you've got increased energy damage by 19.2%. Now he won't be staggering enemies too often, so that means he can actually do pretty nice with crit. So you want to put increased energy crit chance by 11.1. If you don't have them, you can then use increased damage by 16.5 and increased crit chance by 8%. And then finally, if you're really unlucky and if you don't have the energy or the flat damage ones, then you can use the increased mastery by 13.7. But that's the build option, nice and simple there. Let's now have a look at the alternative costume. At the moment then for Cyclops, the alternative costume is just a simple recolour. I do like it, but rest assured that in time we will still get a completely different costume for him. Now in regards to unlocking this, it's unlocked via one of the new Infinity nodes that came as part of the free update. In order to 3-star that, which in turn, if you do all of them, you of course get the Symbiote Spidey costume. It's one of the hardest Infinity nodes in the game, and the 3rd star is the one where you have to beat it without any characters getting downed. Exceptionally difficult. For that reason I'm looking to do a guide on it, and that will hopefully be up tomorrow. So if you are having trouble getting the full 3 stars on the costume unlock Infinity Rift for Cyclops, then keep an eye out on the channel and we should have the video up by tomorrow. But let's just finish up now with a quick summary. Cyclops, of course, then with the latest DLC came alongside Colossus. Now, they're both very good characters, but I would say that Colossus is completely on another level, and for me personally, that meant that Cyclops was a little bit overshadowed by how good Colossus was. Now, if you are a Cyclops fan, I'm sure you will absolutely love him, because once again, I feel they have got that show essence of the character correct. He's a little bit quirky to play, but if you play him tactically, you really can do a huge amount of damage and he can be extremely effective. And that's how Cyclops should be. A character that I mentioned earlier on in the video, you should have to play tactically. I would like to see some kind of team buff put in, or as mentioned again, some kind of team trait for leaders, but that's something we may hopefully see in time. But once again, if you're a Cyclops fan, I'm sure you're going to have an absolute ton of fun with him, and he's a character that I'm actually looking forward to going back to and playing around with a bit more as well. But as always, hope the video has been helpful. If you enjoyed it, take the time to hit the like button, the share button, leave a comment to help drive engagement. If you are new to the channel and this is the first beginner's guide you've came across, I've actually got round about 16 now, and I'll put a link to the playlist at the end of the video, so feel free to check that out. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.